It includes temporal perspective. How will this matter in 10 years? Historical perspective. How does this compare to real suffering throughout history? Relative perspective. How does this compare to what others endure? When you build a fortress of perspective, disturbances can't penetrate because they're revealed as insignificant. Seneca practiced this through premeditatio malorum, imagining loss of everything. Not to be morbid, but to gain perspective. When you've mentally experienced losing everything, small disturbances become laughable. Someone unfollows you on social media? You've imagined losing everyone. A deal falls through? You've imagined losing everything. The small disturbance can't compete with the perspective of total loss. Here's a powerful perspective exercise, the 10-10-10 rule. When disturbed, ask, will this matter in 10 minutes? 10 months? 10 years? Usually by the second question, the disturbance dissolves. If it won't matter in 10 months, why let it steal 10 minutes of peace? This simple framework has saved me hundreds of hours of unnecessary disturbance. The fifth principle, strategic detachment. The Stoics understood something that Eastern philosophy also teaches. Attachment is the root of suffering. But unlike complete detachment, the Stoics practice strategic detachment, caring deeply about what you can control while remaining indifferent to what you cannot. This isn't apathy, it's intelligent emotional investment. Think about how you currently operate. You're attached to outcomes you can't control, whether people like you, whether plans succeed, whether life goes smoothly. Each attachment is a hook that life can use to disturb your peace. The more attachments, the more hooks, the more disturbances. You've turned yourself into emotional Velcro, catching every passing disturbance. Strategic detachment means becoming psychologically smooth, maintaining deep investment in your actions while releasing attachment to results. You write the book with passion, but detach from its reception. You love fully, but detach from reciprocation. You work excellently, but detach from recognition. This isn't indifference to life. It's indifference to what you can't control about life. Epictetus, despite being a slave, achieved complete strategic detachment. He couldn't control his bondage, but could control his response. He couldn't control his treatment, but could control his virtue. By detaching from everything outside his control, he became more free than his masters. Physical chains couldn't disturb someone with no psychological attachments to external conditions. I practice strategic detachment through what I call outcome autopsy. After completing any action, I immediately conduct an emotional autopsy, separating what I controlled from what I couldn't. Did I write the best article possible? Yes. Satisfaction. Did it get the response I hoped? Irrelevant. Detachment. This practice has eliminated 90% of my daily disturbances because I'm only attached to what's actually mine to control. Next, I'll reveal the sixth principle that transforms every obstacle into opportunity. The sixth principle. The obstacle alchemy. Marcus Aurelius wrote the most powerful reframe in Stoic philosophy. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This isn't motivational fluff, it's psychological alchemy, transforming the lead of obstacles into the gold of growth. When you master this principle, nothing can truly bother you because everything becomes useful. Right now, you see obstacles as problems, disturbances as disruptions, challenges as threats. But what if every obstacle is actually an opportunity in disguise? What if every disturbance is a teacher, every challenge a trainer, every problem a promotion waiting to happen? This isn't positive thinking, it's strategic thinking. When everything becomes useful, nothing can truly bother you. The obstacle alchemy works through 3 steps. Perception, seeing the obstacle clearly without emotional clouding. Action, responding with virtue regardless of difficulty. And will, accepting what cannot be changed while persisting with what can. When you apply these 3 steps, obstacles stop being disturbances and start being advantages. Consider Thomas Edison's response when his laboratory burned down, destroying years of work. Instead of being disturbed, he reportedly said, "Thank God all our mistakes were burned up. Now we can start fresh." He didn't just accept the obstacle, he transformed it into opportunity. The fire that could have destroyed him became the fresh start that elevated him. I experienced this when my business collapsed 3 years ago. 10 years of work gone in 3 months. The old me would have been destroyed. But applying obstacle alchemy, I asked, how is this helping me? The answer, it forced innovation I'd been avoiding, introduced me to people I'd never have met, taught lessons success never could. The collapse wasn't a disturbance, it was a gift wrapped in crisis, your practice. Next time you face an obstacle, immediately ask, how can I use this? Not why did this happen, but how can this help? This simple reframe transforms victimhood into victory. The traffic jam becomes meditation time. The rejection becomes redirection. The loss becomes liberation. When you alchemize obstacles, disturbance becomes impossible because everything becomes beneficial. The 7th principle, the energy economics. Seneca understood that emotional disturbance is expensive. It costs energy, health, time, opportunity. He wrote, every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks truth turns from the new and seeks the old truth. That emotional reaction is an investment, and most of what disturbs you offers negative returns. Calculate the true cost of your disturbances. That hour you spent angry about a comment, you could have created something valuable. That day ruined by someone's rudeness, you could have enjoyed life. That week spent anxious about an outcome, you could have been present for actual experiences. Every disturbance is theft, stealing your energy, time, and peace. The energy economics principle means treating your emotional energy like a finite resource, because it is. You wouldn't spend $1,000 on a candy bar, so why spend hours of emotional energy on trivial triggers? You wouldn't invest your savings in obvious scams, so why invest your peace in others' opinions? Marcus Aurelius managed an empire with this principle. He couldn't afford emotional disturbance. The empire needed his clarity. So he developed strict energy economics. Worth his emotional investment, virtue, duty, service. Not worth it, others' opinions, uncontrollable events, past mistakes. This wasn't coldness, it was calculation. He invested emotional energy only where it yielded returns. Here's your energy audit. Track your emotional investments for 1 week. Note what disturbed you, for how long, and what it accomplished. You'll discover you're emotionally bankrupt, spending massive energy on things that yield nothing. Once you see the economics clearly, you naturally stop investing in disturbances that don't pay dividends. The 8th principle, the present fortress Epictetus, taught that all disturbance exists in past or future thinking. Regret lives in the past, anxiety in the future, but peace exists only in the present. When you fortress yourself in the present moment, disturbance becomes impossible because disturbance requires time travel, and presence prevents that. Right now, in this exact moment, reading these words, are you disturbed? Not by what happened yesterday or might happen tomorrow, but right now. The answer is almost always no. Because in the present moment, there's only experience, not story. The story about experience, that's where disturbance lives. The present fortress isn't built through meditation alone. It's built through militant presence. When your mind drifts to past regrets, you forcefully return to now. When it races to future anxieties, you anchor it in the current moment. This isn't gentle mindfulness. It's warrior presence. Defending your peace against the invasion of time-traveling thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, while leading armies in battle, remained fortressed in the present. He didn't carry yesterday's defeats or tomorrow's uncertainties into today's decisions. Each moment was fresh, undisturbed by temporal ghosts. This present fortress mentality allowed him to maintain clarity despite chaos. Practice the now anchor. Set random alarms throughout your day. When they sound, ask, what is actually happening right now? Not what happened, not what might happen, but what is happening. Usually the answer is nothing threatening. You're sitting, standing, walking, basic, non-disturbing activities. The disturbance exists only in your thoughts about other times. Coming up, the 9th principle reveals why trying to be undisturbed actually creates more disturbance. The 9th principle, the acceptance paradox. Here's the paradox that changes everything. The harder you try not to be disturbed, the more disturbed you become. It's like trying not to think of a pink elephant. The resistance creates the persistence. The Stoics discovered that accepting the initial disturbance, then choosing your response, eliminates it faster than fighting it ever could. When you feel disturbed and immediately judge yourself for feeling disturbed, you've created 2 disturbances instead of 1. The original trigger plus the self-judgment about being triggered. You're not just disturbed, you're disturbed about being disturbed. This creates an infinite loop of disturbance that feeds on itself. The acceptance paradox means acknowledging disturbance without identifying with it. I notice disturbance arising, not I am disturbed. This isn't semantic games, it's psychological. If you lost sleep last night because of what someone said, if you checked your phone 50 times waiting for a response, if you're carrying yesterday's anger into today's opportunities, you're not living, you're bleeding. Every reaction is a wound. Every trigger is a chain. Today, I'm going to show you how to become psychologically bulletproof using the same philosophy that helped Marcus Aurelius rule an empire during catastrophe without losing his mind. The fortress of indifference, welcome to Stoic mentality, where ancient wisdom becomes modern armor. What you're about to learn isn't fake positivity or emotional suppression. It's the art of selective indifference, the same mental technology that allowed Epictetus to find freedom in slavery, Seneca to face exile with grace, and Marcus Aurelius to bury his children without breaking. These men discovered something that modern psychology is only now understanding. The secret to inner peace isn't controlling what happens to you. It's mastering what happens within you. Right now, you're living as a slave, not to a person, but to your reactions. Someone doesn't text back, your mood crashes. Traffic is heavy, your day is ruined. A coworker is rude, you lose hours to mental arguments. You've given everyone and everything permission to disturb your peace. You're not the author of your emotional life, you're barely a footnote in it. But here's the revolution the Stoics discovered. You can train yourself to become psychologically immune to external events. Not through denial or detachment, but through a radical reframing of what deserves your emotional investment. When you master this, you don't just survive life's chaos, you thrive in it. You become like water, flowing around obstacles without being disturbed by them. Before we dive into the first principle, and this one alone will cut your daily stress by 80%. If you're tired of being everyone's emotional puppet, if you're ready to reclaim your inner sovereignty, hit that subscribe button right now. Stoic mentality delivers practical philosophy that transforms modern slaves into ancient warriors. New content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, each video building your psychological fortress stronger. The first principle, the art of non-reaction. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal how much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does. This isn't about ignorance, it's about selective attention. Right now, you're subscribed to everyone's drama, opinions, and energy. You're a psychological sponge, absorbing whatever emotional frequency is around you. The first principle of acting unbothered is learning what deserves reaction and what deserves indifference. Think about your last week. How many times did you react to things that, looking back, didn't matter? That comment on social media that triggered a 30-minute mental argument, that driver who cut you off, poisoning your mood for hours, that news headline that made you angry about something you can't control. Each reaction was a choice, even though it felt involuntary. You chose to let these things penetrate your mental fortress. The Stoics developed what I call the reaction audit. Before responding to anything, ask 3 questions. Will this matter? In a year, can I control this outcome? Does reacting serve my highest good? If the answer to any of these is no, you practice what Epictetus called disciplined indifference. You acknowledge the event exists, but you don't grant it emotional residence in your mind. I learned this lesson the hard way. Years ago, I was addicted to reaction. Every slight was a war, every disagreement a battle, every inconvenience a tragedy. I was exhausted not from living, but from reacting. Then I discovered this Stoic principle and implemented a simple rule: 24-hour reaction delay. Before responding to anything emotionally charged, I wait a full day. 9 times out of 10 after 24 hours, the thing that seemed urgent reveals itself as trivial. The power of non-reaction isn't passivity, it's strategic sovereignty. When you don't react immediately, you force life to reveal what's actually important versus what's just noise. Most of what triggers you is noise, sound and fury signifying nothing. When you stop reacting to noise, you save enormous energy for what actually matters. Here's your practice. For the next week, implement the pause protocol. When something triggers you, pause for 10 breaths before responding. Not to calm down, but to evaluate. Is this worth my peace? Is this worth my energy? Is this worth my reaction? During those 10 breaths, you'll realize that 90% of what triggers you doesn't deserve the gift of your response. The second principle, emotional minimalism. Seneca, one of Rome's wealthiest men, practiced voluntary poverty not because he had to, but because he understood something profound. The more you need, the more you can be disturbed. This applies not just to material possessions, but to emotional attachments. Every emotional need is a vulnerability. Every requirement for happiness is a potential source of suffering. Right now, you probably have 100 conditions for peace. You need people to respect you, traffic to flow smoothly, weather to be pleasant, plans to work out, people to respond quickly, validation to arrive regularly. Each need is a button anyone can push to disturb your peace. You've created a complex control panel of requirements, and life is randomly pushing buttons all day long. Emotional minimalism means reducing your conditions for peace to the absolute minimum. Marcus Aurelius had one condition: virtue. As long as he was acting virtuously, external events couldn't disturb his peace. Someone betrays him. He remains virtuous, therefore peaceful. Plague kills thousands. He acts virtuously in response, maintaining peace. His own son plots against him. Virtuous response, sustained peace. This isn't about becoming emotionless, it's about becoming selective with your emotional investments. You have limited emotional energy. Every small disturbance you react to steals energy from significant matters. It's like spending your paycheck on candy when rent is due. Emotional minimalism means saving your reactions for what truly deserves them. I practice this through what I call the daily 3. Each morning, I identify the 3 things that actually deserve emotional investment that day. My health, my work, my key relationships. Everything else gets neutral acknowledgement but no emotional reaction. Traffic, neutral. Rude stranger, neutral. Social media drama, neutral. This isn't coldness, it's conservation. I'm saving my emotional energy for what matters. Coming up, I'll reveal the third principle that will completely transform how you interact with difficult people. The third principle, the mirror method. Epictetus taught something revolutionary. It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about things. But he went deeper. He understood that what bothers us in others is often what we refuse to acknowledge in ourselves. That arrogant person who irritates you, they're showing you your own hidden arrogance. That needy friend who exhausts you, they're reflecting your own suppressed neediness. This is the mirror method, treating every disturbance as information about yourself rather than indictment of others. When someone bothers you, instead of focusing on their flaws, ask, "What is this showing me about myself?" This isn't self-blame, it's self-awareness. You're using external triggers as internal teachers. Marcus Aurelius mastered this when dealing with difficult people in his court. Instead of getting frustrated by their incompetence, he saw it as an opportunity to develop patience. Instead of being angered by their dishonesty, he used it to strengthen his commitment to truth. Every difficult person became a training partner for virtue, not an enemy to his peace. The psychological mechanics are fascinating. When something doesn't bother you, you barely notice it. But when something triggers strong reaction, it's touching something unresolved within you. That reaction is a messenger telling you where you still have work to do. The external trigger is just the catalyst. The real disturbance is internal. I discovered this when criticism used to devastate me. Not all criticism, just specific types. When someone called me lazy, it destroyed me. Why? Because deep down I feared I was lazy. The criticism hurt because it echoed my own self-judgment. Once I addressed my relationship with productivity and self-worth, the same criticism became neutral information rather than emotional devastation. Here's your mirror method practice. Next time someone bothers you, write down specifically what bothers you about them. Then ask, where does this quality exist in me? Be brutally honest. You'll discover that we're most bothered by qualities we possess, but deny. Once you own these shadows, they lose their power to disturb you in others. The fourth principle, the fortress of perspective. Marcus Aurelius had a practice that instantly dissolved any disturbance. The view from above. He would imagine floating above the earth, seeing his problems from cosmic perspective. That meeting that went badly, invisible from space. That person who insulted you, a speck insulting another speck on a spinning rock. Your urgent crisis, undetectable from the moon. This isn't nihilism, it's proportion. Most of what disturbs you is cosmically insignificant. The Stoics understood that perspective is the antidote to disturbance. When you zoom out far enough, everything that bothers you reveals itself as temporary and trivial. The argument that ruined your day, in 100 years, everyone involved will be dead, and no one will remember it happened. But the fortress of perspective goes beyond cosmic zoom out. Sovereignty. When you observe disturbance rather than become it, you maintain the power to choose your response. Seneca mastered this during his exile. He didn't pretend exile wasn't disturbing. He acknowledged the disturbance, then chose his response. He wrote some of his best work in exile, not despite the disturbance, but through accepting and transcending it. The acceptance freed him from the secondary disturbance of resisting the primary one. Your practice. When disturbed, say, I welcome this disturbance as a teacher, not because you enjoy it, but because welcoming ends resistance. Then ask, what is this teaching me? Every disturbance becomes curriculum rather than crisis. The person who angers you teaches patience. The situation that frustrates you teaches acceptance. The outcome that disappoints you teaches detachment. The 10th principle, the virtue override. Marcus Aurelius had an unbeatable strategy for remaining undisturbed. No matter what happened, he would respond with virtue. Someone lies to him, he responds with truth. Someone is cruel, he responds with kindness. Someone betrays him, he responds with loyalty to his values. When virtue is your only goal, disturbance becomes impossible because you can always achieve virtue regardless of circumstances. The virtue override means programming yourself with a simple protocol. External events trigger internal virtues. Rudeness triggers patience. Dishonesty triggers integrity. Aggression triggers calm. You're not reacting to what they're doing. You're using what they're doing as a cue for your own virtuous response. This isn't about being a doormat. It's about being undefeatable. When your goal is virtue rather than specific outcomes, you win every interaction. They may get what they want, but you get to practice who you want to be. They may disturb the situation, but they can't disturb your commitment to excellence. Epictetus lived this perfectly. As a slave, he couldn't control his treatment, but he could control his virtue. Every harsh treatment became an opportunity for dignity. Every injustice became a chance for integrity. His masters could control his body, but not his character. This made him psychologically invincible. How do you disturb someone whose only goal is virtue? Implement the virtue override today. Choose 3 virtues: patience, courage, kindness, etc. For the next week, regardless of what happens, respond with one of these virtues. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Patience. Difficult conversation needed. Courage. Rude service. Kindness. You're not responding to them. You're practicing you. The integration protocol. These 10 principles aren't meant to be absorbed instantly. Here's your integration protocol for becoming truly unbothered. Week 1-2. Master the reaction audit and the pause protocol. These create the foundation, space between trigger and response. Week 3-4. Add emotional minimalism and strategic detachment. Reduce what can disturb you while detaching from outcomes. Week 5-6. Implement the mirror method and obstacle alchemy. Transfer